on any of the hieroglyphs, so I'm a little behind. But let's look at what we did last week. Or last time, not last week. I'm going to try to make this maybe a every other week thing, or like whenever, because like this is a long story, so I can go on with this for pretty long because we only did one sentence last time. I'm hoping maybe we'll get through a little bit more today. But this is what this is the first line of the story of the Shipwrecked Sailor. The Shipwrecked Sailor is a story from the Middle Kingdom, and it is but as most of the stories that we have, we know that they usually date to the Middle Kingdom, but we don't have as much evidence until the New Kingdom, and that is purely probably because we have more textual evidence coming from the New Kingdom than we have from anywhere else. And whether or not that is because the people in the New Kingdom kept better records, or just because we found more of the records, who's to say? So the Shipwrecked Sailor is a pretty popular story. It's kind of the easiest story that I find students who are learning about ancient Egypt and learning Middle Egyptian, which is the specific dialect that I learned, which again is the easiest dialect to learn. Not going to say it's easy, it's just easier than all the other ones. Shipwrecked Sailor is probably the easiest story to learn, and so it was the first one that I learned after we were doing sentences. So what we did last time was the first line of the story, and most of these stories there are gaps, there are missing pieces. Sometimes the beginning is missing, sometimes the end is missing, and then usually these stories are pieced together from different sources. So I believe the Shipwrecked Sailor... Let's actually just look it up. I think it's on an ostraca. Well, I mean, as it is, either of them are, they are either on ostraca or they are on papyri. There's pretty much the only two options. So at least one source states the papyrus having a story written upon it is located within the Imperial Museum in St. Petersburg, but there's no information of when it was originally discovered. Very typical. Hi Shay, how are you? Welcome to the stream. We're just doing a little background of the tale of the Shipwrecked Sailor before I start writing down the second line that we're going to cover. So we have no information about where the original papyri was discovered. In some cases, it says that Vladimir Golenchyk discovered the papyrus in 1881, and then saying it's originated from the Middle Kingdom. The scribe who copied it, who claimed to be excellent of fingers, we will translate that in a very long time. I think that's at the very end of the story. Despite having made a few slip-ups in copying, but his name was Amena, something kind of along the lines of that. The signature of Amena was mentioned in the 1987 edition of the Guinness Book of World Records as the oldest surviving signature on papyri. Wow, that's really cool. Uh-oh, why is the hug not working? All right, I will tell y'all, I don't know how my computer is going to keep up with everything. As you guys know, I had to cancel my stream last night because every time I opened OBS, I got the blue screen of death. And then this morning, my mom was like, Joe, you should go and help her. And, oh, that is right, Shay. It is Mummy Hug. Thank you so much, Mark, for remembering. I forgot that it's Mummy Hug. I should probably just change it to Hug. That's probably easier. We can change that later. But yeah, so my brother came and helped me, and I was like, do you want me to show you the problem? He's like, yeah, sure. And so I click OBS, and it literally just opens up like nothing is wrong. And I'm like, oh, okay. Great, thanks. Everything's fine. There we go. Oh, thank you for the hug, Pod. I should probably just change it to Hug, just so everyone, it's a little easier for y'all to remember. But yeah, so the first line that we translated was, I'll read it out and remember when I read out the ancient Egyptian, this is like the best that we can kind of do. It's not that we have some ideas as to how the ancient Egyptians pronounced. why does that sound so weird in my mouth? Pronounce their language, but we don't have it 100%. So the way that I say it is not going to be exactly how the ancient Egyptians said it, especially because there's not a lot of vowels in ancient Egyptian language, so we usually have to add an E in between most of the consonants. So the way that I would read this would be Sejeded, E-R, is that one word? E-Ref, Nekek, Miti, Iri, Heper, Ma'i, Jesser, E, Shema, Shema, no, Shemek, U, R, B, N, Iti, Haku, R, Wajware, M, Depet, Net, Mech, 120, M, Aus, Mech, 40, Mech, Sheh-U-S. Is how I would say it. It's not right. I'm a little rough trying to remember how to pronounce some of these. But that's the best I can do. My favorite is Saltexia. She just call my dad. He speaks and it gets fixed. Yeah, see, I hate doing that because my dad is a computer engineer. And he makes me feel like shit sometimes when he does that. But because he doesn't know a lot about capture cards and stream decks, but my brother does. Oh, thank you, I don't know, for subscribing for 2 months. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here. But yeah, I don't usually like ask my dad because he just is like, he does the, have you ever heard picnic? Problem in chair, not in computer. That's what my dad says whenever I come to him with a problem. But yes, problem in chair, not in computer. Picnic. Please don't use that with anybody. It makes you feel like shit. But I asked my brother to help me because he would be a little bit kinder. And he understands it a little bit more, which is funny. I believe there's an option to keep both commands as alternate names. Ooh, Pode, we will look into that. Touch portal, stream deck. I'm a throw these hands. Yes, I have a stream deck now. It has literally 0 buttons because I don't know what I'm doing. So it's going to be like a work in progress. I'm going to try to see if I can get some stuff up by my birthday stream. Yeah, I don't ask my mom about anything anymore. I luckily can ask them for a lot of other things. It's just computer stuff I can't ask about. I can't ask my dad. They're super powerful. What the heck? Okay, now I just think MommyBot's not working. Didn't we have a birthday command? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I thought we had a birthday, or was it Mel's birthday? I don't know. Birthday stream? Was it birthday stream? It is birthday stream. I gotta change my title. Oh, well, it's not gonna fit. Hee hee hee. Alright, never mind. Just reminding y'all, I have a birthday stream coming up this Friday. My birthday is the 8th, which is Saturday, but I'm doing stuff with my friends, so we're doing it Saturday at 7. We're doing it Friday, and then we're going past midnight to celebrate my birthday. My dad is terrible at actually helping, but he's good at magically helping. I think I do Shay. I'm not... Ashley knows way more, and so Ashley's been just like creating commands when I don't notice sometimes. I think I should have a thing of commands. Honestly, try it, and we'll see what happens. Unless that was you trying. Oh, I do! There you go. Yes, I cannot wait to get the stream deck working. Hysterically, Kayla, our lovely follower and my friend in real life, she sent me a TikTok that she didn't even know, but I had literally commented. It was a girl, it was a fellow streamer. I think she's actually live right now. She was like, look at my stream deck. If you have any questions, like, let me know. I'll do some tutorials on how to set up your stream deck. And I literally was like, girl, I need so much help. And my friend sent me that. Didn't even look at the comments that I had already commented. Oh, last thing before, I got new stream cups, things to drink out of. So I got this set. It says always learning. And then it came with 2 more. one with C, yes, we, and awakish. So it's definitely supposed to be for a teacher. But the always learning one just made me so happy. I got them at Target. I'm very excited. All right, so the rest of the sentence, so the sentence translated means, therefore, let me recount to you what happened to me, myself, after I had gone to the mine for the sovereign. I, having come down to the great green in a boat of 120 cubits in its length and 40 cubits in its width. So pretty much it's just, you can tell that the narrator is the one who is going to tell the story about himself. And it described that he had gone to the mine based on, the king had told him to go to a mining area to obviously do something there. And he had come down to the Great Green. And the way that we say the Great Green is, the Great Green, we go back and forth. Egyptologists, if the Great Green is the Mediterranean, if the Great Green is the ocean in general, or if the Great Green is the Nile. I believe the consensus is that the Great Green is the Mediterranean Ocean, Mediterranean Sea, excuse me. But yeah, we're not 100%. It also might be the Red Sea. There's a little contention about like what they're actually talking about when they just call it the Great Green. But yeah, he was in a boat, and it is 120 cubits long and 40 cubits wide. And I don't remember how much a cubit is, so we're gonna have to figure that out. So, Ashley is very quick at it. You gotta be quicker than that. So I am going to thank you all on TikTok for sending me likes. I still don't know what they do, but you can follow me on Twitch, and we're going to be doing some live translations. 17.49 inches. How much is 17.49 inches? And yes, I am pulling out a ruler. So longer than a ruler, because that's 12 inches. See, I thought a second a cubit was the fist, but that's just like the square in... When they do hierarchic scale for the ancient Egyptian art canon, the way that they do it is that they measure it in fists. So like the square that would go around your fist would fit in it. That's how many, I can't remember what the number is, but there's a specific number for how many fists high a person would typically be to get the scale correctly. So the ship was 120 cubits long and 40 cubits wide. Odd question, but other than the Sphinx and gods and goddesses, were there any ancient Egyptian monsters and creatures? I haven't found much online. The one that always kind of comes to mind whenever we kind of think of monsters, we think of Amet, A-M-N-I-T usually. He is a conglomeration of a couple different animals, and he is seen, I think technically he is a god. I think most of the time they technically are gods. And so he was the one that in New Kingdom mythology, I was gonna say Apep as well. Amet in ancient Egyptian mythology is the one who ate the heart after the weighing of the heart in New Kingdom mythology. And Apep is he's a very big god. He is the entire concept of chaos. And so he like kind of immortalizes everything that is not order. And he is kind of crazy. He's supposed to be this giant snake thing. But other kind of monsters and creatures, you would probably have to look at things like the Book of the Dead and the Book of Gates and like kind of things like that. And I would assume that lots of the Apep and Apophis are the same person, are the same creature. Apep is the ancient Egyptian name, and Apophis, I believe, is the Greek name. Somebody can correct me on that if it's Greek or Latin. But yeah, Apophis and Apep are the same person. Oh! The snake-necked cats. I remember those now. Yeah, I can't remember. There's lots of little things that like we would classify as a demon because they are creatures that kind of hang around in the afterlife and that are dangerous to you, that if we had to kind of put the name on it, I have the Book of the Dead, but I'm not really sure what I'm looking at. Yeah, you would kind of look for things that are kind of classified as demon. Actually, I'm curious what Marcus found. There's Amit. There's Apep. Bennu, the Bird of Fire? I wouldn't say that. He was a monster. A siren? Some people would place her in the Muslim rather than classical Egyptian. She's definitely not in the classical Egyptian pantheon. That's the least ancient Egyptian name ever. No, not the griffin. Oh, the Sauropard. I think that's what Haley was talking about. They're definitely weird. I definitely would classify them as a kind of a monster. They are, although they seem kind of Greek or Mesopotamian, they're definitely in Mesopotamian art, but they are in some pre-dynastic art. They're like these weird snakes. Hello, Star. Hi, welcome. Sphinx. No, your ace is not a monster. Yeah, there is something like that. You're doing a huge painting project. Definitely send me a message, Shay, on Discord, and I can look into some things. I have some books of gods and stuff. I can look into some stuff. Sauropods are definitely a good one to add, because you can add them, especially in a painting. They are known for the these depictions of men like holding two creatures, and it's the men dominating beast. You have 80 paintings to do. Oof. Oh my goodness. I mean, in a certain sense, you could just classify a lot of the gods as monsters and creatures, because they do come in these composite versions of humans with animal heads. They are definitely a little goosebumpy, a little weird. Okay, so I need to find the end of the sentence that we worked. Because it's gonna take me a hot second to write this. So, okay. And I'm gonna see if I can write more than last time. And also, don't judge me because I'm writing on a tablet and it's hard to... Oh, that looks bad, but you know what it is. And always ask me if you have any questions about what these glyphs are supposed to represent. Some of them I might have to look up, but most of the time I can give you a general gist of what they are supposed to represent. Not everything represents something that we know, but most of them I can tell you what they're supposed to be in real life. Ooh. Bad. Yeah, that's what I was suggesting, Star. If you know any, like, good sources for like the different weird demons in the underworld and the afterlife, like I think that would be a great suggestion for Shay, because there are these just lesser known weird ones that like we only know from just like little kind of depictions and stuff. I would suggest, even though I love Medjed and I would never call him a monster, I definitely think you should paint a picture of Medjed, just because I'd love you for that. Medjed is a very weird god. I wouldn't call him a monster or a creature, but he's definitely a weird one, and I think he'd be great and a great addition. Ooh, fancy, Haley. Fancy books all around. I saw all of, were those your books that you posted in the Discord? Some absolutely great books that you got. I really should have done this before I started streaming, but I ran out of time and I had dinner. So y'all will just have to bear with me and watching me fail and remember having to draw any of these hieroglyphs. I also forgot to pull up the PDF dictionary or grab my sign list. So I'm definitely a little bit behind today. Okay. Let's go here. Whoop, go back. That wasn't there. Medjed. So yeah, it's, if you search Medjed, it's technically Medjed. But yeah, Medjed. Yeah, so we love Medjed. Medjed is my favorite. He is going to be my first tattoo, which I'm hoping to get in the next year or so. Medjed is a very minor god. We have 2 depictions of him, and truly, I think we only have 3 textual pieces of evidence of him. He went 100% viral in Japan when the 2 papyri that we have paintings of him in went to Japan. And Japanese people freaked out because he looks like a little ghost, and he's just adorable, and I love him. But he was a protector of Ra. He had lasers, not lasers, but like fire came out of his eyes. And I'm not even joking you, he has an entire video game dedicated to him, and he's been in like manga series. Oh, he's 100% more popular in modern day than in ancient Egypt, 100%. And I love him, and I think he's so cute. I don't have my little pin. Ashley bought me a pin a couple months ago, and it's on my work lanyard. So I also have a little pot that my best friend painted me for my birthday that has Medjed all around it. Cause he's a cutie. I just love him. Okay. Let's try to get as much lines down as possible. And I ran out of room. So you guys will be able to see, hopefully, that you'll kind of be able to notice multiple words that are like repeating. The Shipwrecked Sailor in general is a very repetitive story. So you'll see multiple words being used over and over again. And who knows, maybe if y'all have good enough memory, you'll remember what it says. Oh God. Oh God, my owls are getting sad. I can't do it. Oh, my hand's cramping up. Currently working on Kitsune. Ooh, very cool. Amateur! 8 months! Amateur's here! Welcome in, Amateur. How are you doing today? How was your New Year's? Whoop. Oh, that last line wasn't supposed to be there. How is everybody's New Year's? Everyone staying safe? Oh my god, you know what I totally forgot to tell you? I'm expecting snow tomorrow. And I really hope it comes, because I would love to not go to work. But unfortunately, because I have to get up so early in the morning, even if it does come, I'm going to have to, it was 70, that is true. I don't know if I'm gonna get off at work. That's the thing, is I don't know, I might. It's more just like travel arrangements. We might be having like a 5 to 7 inches. I don't know, we'll have to see. Yes, but Mammy, where do you live? I live in Virginia, where like people freak the frick out if we have a couple inches of snow. 7 dash, have company coming over. Oh, thank you so much, Amateur. Thank you for lurking. You live in Canada. Yeah, of course, Mammy. Like, of course you live in Canada. We live in a place where like we don't get a lot of snow like ever, and if we do get snow, it gets Oh, we don't have an art channel on Discord? Make an art channel, Haley. You get approval. Can you do that? I'm not sure. I think you can do that. You're a mod on my Discord. It's actually coming from the south. We are getting like a cold front that's coming kind of... It just snowed in Tennessee. So it's kind of coming up that way. The problem is that we have 2 very large mountain ranges, so snow typically comes in the early morning for us. Did not wait for approval. That's fine, Haley. We have 2 mountain ranges, and so a lot of the times when we get snow like in the early morning, and if they will preemptively close school. They've actually already closed schools here, at least in our county, because we don't know what it's going to be like at 5 in the morning when the snow comes. So unfortunately, I think because of the timing, we sometimes preemptively will call school off. And for the most part, we get school off and then nothing happens. That happens all the time here. And it's unfortunate, but it just happens. But the one year, we did have one year where it, they said it was gonna snow, and they were like, oh, okay, like, and they pretty much were like, I don't think it's actually gonna snow, so we're not gonna cancel school. It turns out it only snowed a couple inches, but it did stick, and we had, like, not even joking, y'all, we had parents complaining. We had a kid get hit by a car because it slid into a crosswalk and they couldn't do anything about it. We had a bus like turn over, and like luckily I don't think anybody died, but like there were all these injuries. And I'm not even joking you, the high schoolers protested on Twitter and close our acronym for our public schools. They were like, close this acronym, and it went viral. And the poor guy who chooses the whether or not to give off school, he literally got like roasted on Twitter, and it was very sad. But now I think people are a little bit more cautious, just because that was kind of a disaster when it happened. Oh my god, my hand's like cramping. I can't. This is the last sentence that I'm gonna write, or the last line, and hopefully we'll get through all of this tonight, because I also will have to end slightly earlier, which is why I started slightly earlier. But then we also, oh my god, why can't I draw the friggin' owls tonight? It's an owl. I can't draw anything. And I'm seeing that chat is going and I can't do anything about it. Sorry, just a little bit longer and then I will read chat. But yeah, it's not telling that we like necessarily, like this is also my new job. I don't know what our snow policy is, but some jobs will follow whether or not schools have been closed just because they know that like their employees have like kids and stuff. All right, last section. Oh god, that was awful. I hope y'all can tell what these are. My hand's just like cramping up. It's like one of my favorite signs to draw is the little boat. Oh my god, I can't do it. I can't. I can't draw the stupid owl. Okay, I'm done. Yes, I am using a tablet. It's called a Vike tablet. I have absolutely no idea. It technically my brother gave it to my mom when we were in quarantine and she was teaching from home for school. And then I asked her if I could use it for one of the streams and then I kind of have it, so I'm just keeping it. Oh, Haley just got a blanket of snow. Looks real pretty. Oh, I'll post pictures in the Discord. When you're in a state that isn't equipped for snow, it's deadly very quickly. Yeah, so we are reasonably, like we are the northern part of our state, so like most of our area is more equipped than other places in the south, but yeah, we are in an area that does not get a lot of snow, and it makes me very sad. Where we are like 6 inches of snow is, maybe I'll leave a little early, yeah. I hate high school lately. I have to go back soon. Oh, I'm so sorry, hon. Yes, it is a drawing tablet. I will brag a little bit. I'm very good at drawing on paint with like a normal mouse, but like I am using a tablet and I'm very happy that I have this. This is just paint. This is normal paint. I'm just like drawing with this little fun pencil, which is fun. Okay, so as I'll show you guys here, the first thing that I do is I go through and I translate what I remember, and then I'll look up words that I don't know. And granted, I don't know any of these words by heart except a couple of them. Very slight. It's -8 Celsius or 17. Because of the disconnect between what you're looking at your hand. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Silver Sense. Thank you. I've only had a little bit of practice. Okay, so that is an S, a D. I think this is all one word. This is a number, so this is, I think this is 100. Yeah, this is 100, so it's 120. These symbols are 100 and these are going by tens, so it's 120. E, M, S, M. Don't know about that. Oh, I do know this one. This is Kemet, y'all. This is the ancient Egyptian word for Egypt. Pretty much any word that you'll see here. Am I right? I want to check before I let you all know. Yeah, this is the ancient Egyptian word for Kemet, which means the Black Land. Referring literally to the fertile soil of the Nile Delta. This is Ma'a, S-N. Oh, this is pets. This is the word for heaven or horizon. Horizon? No, heaven. And then Ma'a again. S-N. This is the word Ta for land. This word, M-A-Ek. I'll have to check that. That might be a duplication. That's not Ib. I don't remember what that sign is though. So this is Sen, R, Ma, U. I don't remember that sign. So this is an ellipse. or not an ellipse. This is a gap in the text. We have two gaps in the text, unfortunately. It's unclear how big that gap is, unfortunately. With papyri, it could be like one word or one letter, but we just don't always know. That's Jed. That's pear. E-U-N. This is the other word that we saw, the waj. Where? Or no, wait, it's... How did we write waj? Sorry, I wrote wedge instead of waj. It's waj. Where? So that's this word, which is the great green. This is this tep? I'm gonna have to check that one. That's I have no idea what that is. We'll have to look that one up. There's ta again. F. Ot. Something. That's a determinative. That's probably a determinative. Maybe not. I'm not sure. Something F. M-E-E-T. N. Oh, that's a new pot, so this must be new. And then new E, maybe? T. That's just a determinative. E, M, F, N, T. That's mech, which we, I think, talked about last time. That is, how much is that? 8? 8. Ooh, I don't remember. It definitely has an IN in there, but I don't remember. And then this is the word for boat. Debet. Met. Something like that. Oh, I have to take a look, Shay. Okay, so now, excuse me while I go and find, where's the names and hieroglyphs? I have a shortcut to the document here. So this is our modernized by page display, choose page scrolling. So this is our dictionary, which we'll check out in a second. I want to keep these consistent by what color I'm using. So let's use some red to do the words that we know. So this is Egypt. Whoop. This is, it's like heaven, but it might just be sky or something. If you can't tell, this symbol is actually supposed to be the goddess Nut. It's like a representation of Nut literally going across the sky. So this is land. This is great green. And I do this purely because I have a bad memory. So it's better for me to write down the definitions. This is to speak, if that's what it is. The sail is throwing me off a little bit. I need to go use the washroom, but I don't want to miss the stream. You'll be fine, Mamie. You'll be fine. It's not gonna take, it's gonna be me literally looking up in the dictionary. You'll wait until, go to the washroom now and then come back when we translate it. Did I hear what you said before? It was 40s. Oh, it was negative 40. Is that what you meant? Negative 4. Huh. Negative 38. I like the cold, but that's cold. That's very cold. Negative 38. Oh my God. I want to go to Canada, but it might be too cold for me. See, I love the snow. I love the snow. And I wish I lived in a place that had more snow. But damn. That is very cold. That is very, very cold. Yeah, I'll have to come in the summer. I was supposed to go in April. In April of 2020. I was supposed to go to Toronto? Actually, I can tell you where I was supposed to go because, oh, I don't have it here. I was supposed to go to, I think I was supposed to go to Toronto. Yeah, I was supposed to go for a conference in Toronto, and I had somehow, some absolute miracle, I bought flight insurance. Yeah, I don't know actually where the actual conference was, but we were supposed to, usually the conference, so it's called the American Research Center in Egypt. conference, and they were supposed to usually we have a party one night, and our party was, so the conference was not at it was at a hotel or something, the actual conference was, but we were supposed to have a party at the Royal Ontario Museum where they were going to rent out the entire museum for us, and we were going to do different, like, there were different, like, activities that we were all going to be able to go to. So I was very jealous about that we had to miss that. But yeah, I think the lecture series, because there's like multiple lectures that go on at the exact same time. I think that was at some hotel nearby or something. I can't remember where it was supposed to be. It was a big bummer. It was a big bummer that we never got to go. I've never been to Canada. And honestly, not that I don't like Canada. It was never something that was like always on my radar until like I missed it. And I was like, oh, I would have liked to go to Canada because that would have been fun. But I would like to go to Canada. Yeah, I heard the Egyptian collection's pretty nice. Any words in here? Boat. Yeah, they do. I think I did a blog post about them once. No, I don't think so. I don't think there are any royal mummies outside of Egypt. I think the only one that was outside of Egypt was Ramses the First. It might have been Ramses the First. One royal mummy, which I think is still a little bit inconsistent. No, Tut has never left the country. Tut has never left Egypt. His things have left Egypt, but the mummy itself has never left Egypt. There is a mummy. Ramses the Great did. I think that was Ramses the Great went to France. There was one that did go to France, but I'm saying that there is no mummy that is currently permanently located at a museum outside of Egypt. There was a mummy who. Yeah, so Ramses II did go to France. He had a passport and everything, which was hysterical. But I can't remember who it was, but there was a mummy that was discovered at the Niagara Falls Museum. And then when the Niagara Falls Museum eventually went under, that was kind of when they discovered that this mummy might be a royal. And I think it's been confirmed. It's kind of, I think, still a little fishy. But most of that collection was purchased by the Carlos Museum in Atlanta, and then what was it? Then it was either the Carlos Museum who discovered it, or they thought maybe a little bit before. I don't really remember, but pretty much that was when it got sent back to Egypt, and so then that was the only one that we kind of knew 100%. If I remember correctly, they knew the mummy was royal the whole time and advertised it being. I do remember that, actually. I did a blog post about them. I do actually remember that, thinking that it was somebody else. I didn't think it was Nefertiti, though. I thought it was like another royal woman, but not Nefertiti herself. I can't remember. I'll have to look back at the blog post. Nice few busts in a sarcophagus. Yes, lovely sarcophagi. There are royal sarcophagi that are outside of Egypt, though. There are a couple in the British Museum, I think. I think there's one or two. Okay, let's look for this sign up at the top. So it is a long, tall one, which I can use my cheat sheet here to find it. Oh, AA28, which means it is a unidentified, unclassified sign. An instrument used by bricklayers. Frequently used in Ket. So it looks like this might be so actually, yeah, so that makes sense. So this symbol is actually a determinative to help fit, or this symbol has the D And then this has it. So the word is shed, which we can look, or said, not shed. We go down to the S's, and then D is at the very, very end of the alphabet. So, and anything, if you put an S in front of any kind of word, it makes it usually a causative verb. I might have gotten that wrong. Is it seked, maybe? Oh, it is seked. Never mind. It is S K. So was that before T or after? Oh, here it is. So it actually is, so either we write this as a K or as a Q. Nifrit moot. I can't remember if that's the one that I did. I'm sorry, guys. I can't remember if that's the one that I did the project, my blog post on. I don't think it is. It doesn't sound familiar. So here we go. So here is the word that we were looking for. So it has a little standing man. Let me zoom in on this for y'all. I'm actually gonna change this to be page display. Is that better? Can you all see that? Yeah. So this is the word we're looking for. So it has a little standing man with arms raised, probably a praised man, and then just a male determinative. So that is the word for sailor. So sailor. And then let's look for the word im. Therein is what im means. So this literally means 120. Therein. And then the S by itself should just mean it, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So we actually write it as this. If you remember, we use equal signs to indicate possession or a subject. It could be either both. So this is therein it. And then let me look up that sign. I think that is a plow of some kind. Yes, it is. It is in the agriculture section, which is U19. It is an adze, which if you don't know what an adze is like, it's some sort of tool that was used for like probably scraping or like carving wood. So this is an adze at work on a block of wood, which is why it has like this little piece kind of on the bottom. Y'all can barely see my cursor. I'm sorry. Singer at the Temple of Ra in Thebes, according to some lady. Yeah, it's hard because I feel like a lot of female mummies, they were just called singers or chantress or songstress. But it's entirely possible. It's a very common title for women during lots of periods, and it could be written on her sarcophagus as her title. So it's always possible. But you always have to be a little bit cautious with those because you don't know. It was okay. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, she was a singer at the Temple of Ra in Thebes. Temple of Ra, really. So this word can be a phonetic of setup, it looks like. So this word probably means, so it looks like it's STP, setup. So let's look at what that word would be. Uh, apparently had kids too. Oh yeah, it's actually very common to see when you have children, because it is such a huge, like, it's such a huge thing on your body. You can tell by a woman's pelvis if they've had children or not, usually, because literally some of the bone is like worn away, which is so scary and so strange to think about, but that's literally how you can tell. So set up to cut up an animal. So that's not exactly how we have it written. But it also might be M set up, so we may need to use that to see what we can find. Kind of a controversial thing. No, please correct me, Mark, if that is controversial, because that's just what I was taught when I had my forensic anthropology class. So please correct me if I'm wrong. Always correct me if I'm wrong, if you know something more than I do. I'm gonna tell my children that you're Indiana Jones. Would love that. Mark knows more because he is a bioarchaeologist. I've only taken 2 classes in forensic anthropology, which is looking at more modern corpses. So I don't know if there's a difference there, but he will let us know when he finishes typing. So this might be the word we're looking for. Where is it? Oh yeah, here it is. See how this word, there's only 2 signs? So this is a variation of how to write this word. So this means the choicest or the pick. Where'd my mouse go? There it is. I can't see it when it's on the... Choicest or the pick. That's what I was taught to, but more recent research has actually shown that it might not be the case. The area of the pelvis that they say might show signs of childbirth is susceptible to other damage as a cause of the trauma. Oh, that's good to know. And I'm sure obviously, like, I feel like with bioarchaeology and things like that, a lot of it gets assumed on the whole entire population. Like, they would say every woman's pelvis is gonna be missing this piece because they had a child, which I'm sure is not true, because every person is different and every person's body is different. Like, I'm sure also people, obviously women who have C-sections probably don't have that mark that has been previously said to be. But yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it makes sense that now there are some old bioarchaeology stuff. Oh yeah, the standards are really bad. Yeah, sure, for sure. And they don't look at everybody. They only look at a very select population, and we haven't really changed that or added, like, kind of expanded the, what's the word for it? The population of people that they looked at. Like, at the time they were only looking at a very select amount of people. It's not how our bodies were. Tune into a future lecture where we can discuss all this. Yes, for sure, Mark. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm trying to keep, like, oh god, yeah, don't even talk to me about that. Yeah, I hated that. See, this is the thing, oh no, I completely believe that there are aliens, 100%. And to be honest, I probably believe that if we do believe that aliens, there has to be other sentient life. I believe that there are. Are they going to be smarter than us? I don't know. If there is a group that is smarter than us, have they been to Earth? Probably. I'm just gonna say it, probably. Would we know about it? Probably not. But no, I 100% believe that there has to be other people out there. Whether or not they, yeah, exactly as Abby B said. Aliens probably do exist, but did they build the pyramids? No. Did they interact with people? back then, I don't know. Hell if I know. I don't know. Maybe they did. But when I also say aliens, they could literally look in very true. Yeah, 100% Silver Sun. It's extremely narcissistic to think that we're the only ones. It's extremely narcissistic. But it's like we're totally there watching them build. I mean, yeah, maybe. I love that theory. The aliens didn't build the pyramids, they watched them build the pyramids. I really liked Stargate. I need to watch the movie again, but I really liked it because of the entire concept that they weren't trying to necessarily recreate what ancient Egypt was like. Because if a group of ancient Egyptians were stuck on a different planet, they would adapt in different ways. Their language would not exactly be the same as ancient Egyptians on Earth. And so I really appreciated that, in that it also let me kind of put aside my archaeology hat and be like, okay, I don't need to critique them on this much, because it's a completely different world. It's a completely different place where they have adapted over thousands of years. Like, why would I critique them on something like that? And I love that they kind of found this perfect, like, loophole on how to make it as much they want, like, to kind of go and take their creative juices flowing, while also sticking to the concept that, like, it is ancient Egypt, but, like, the gods are probably a little different, the language is probably a little bit different. Like, we're not going to try to make it exactly the same. Atlantis, I freaking love Atlantis. I don't think you're talking about the same Atlantis, but I freaking love Atlantis. Is it Stargate Atlantis? Is there another Stargate that I don't know of? I still haven't watched the show yet. Stargate 1. But, Hemi Onkoff for aliens. Alright, so what did I just look up? I looked up Setep, which is the choice to pick. Executive Storm! Oh my goodness, welcome! Wow, we have so many resubs coming in today. Thank you so much. 8 months. 8 months is amazing. Everyone you're very close to the, is it 9-month badge? I think I have a 9-month badge for the single pyramid. Stargate has 3 shows. Oh, so Stargate Atlantis. Oh, Jason Momoa. Silver Sunset, thank you so much. Oh my god, thank you so much for the subscription. Y'all are so sad. I know, Executive Storm, we haven't seen you in forever. How are you doing? So there's Atlantis. Okay, that's very tempting because I love Atlantis theme stuff. My dogs are named Ronan and Tula. Reminded me that this was up to be used. Oh, thank you so much, Silver Sunset. That's so kind. I just love, oh, y'all make me so happy. I'm about to get into, like, oh, Mark, thank you for the 10 biddies. Oh, yes, Hype Train is close. It's also very close. I don't know, I heard something that, like, Hype Trains, you need to always give 100 bits, which I was like, that doesn't make any sense, really? I didn't think that, but maybe that's, like, higher up Hype Trains. We're on the low one, man. We haven't had a lot of Hype Trains. But I'm about to, like, do some transferring of, like, money and stuff to make, like, MelissainDeNile, like, my own bank account, so that I can, like, keep all the streaming money separate from everything, so then I can save up to, like, buy stuff, like, for the stream. Like, I need a new monitor. This is technically my second monitor over here is a TV, and I need a new chair very desperately. But I should watch SG1 before Atlantis. It kind of overlaps. Okay, good to know. So I accidentally, when everyone told me I should watch Stargate, I accidentally started watching the first episode of the series, and I was like, I feel like I'm missing something. And so then I went and looked, and I was like, oh, there's a movie first, and then I watched the movie. So I've seen, like, the first 5 minutes of the first episode, like, when the Stargate opens, and I was, like, very confused, but I figured out. I was like, oh, okay, we gotta watch the movie first. And I enjoyed the movie. I really did, actually. All right, y'all. Okay, so Ma'a, didn't we have that here? No, we did. Ma'a is to see. Or we're in red, to see. And we have that, where did we have that? We also had that down here, to see. And no, it's not down there. I thought we had it 3 times. No, maybe not. I really love the pre-Athenian Greeks, the Phoenicians. Absolutely love SU1. I have yet to figure out why. I work messed hours. Doing good. Hope everyone had a good Christmas, New Year's, and happy holidays. Happy holidays to you, Executive Storm. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, everything's been a little crazy. We've been like off of our normal schedule for the past couple months. After my birthday stream on Friday, I'm hoping to get back into like a groove, where we continue doing Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I do have a new schedule for what stars to remind me for your streams. And that's fine. My streams usually are consistent. They are usually every Tuesday, Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and every Saturday either at 7 or 8 Eastern Standard Time. Like, usually I'm pretty consistent, and as long as you are on the Discord and you get the notifications, you'll see if something comes up. But that's usually the typical days I stream. But I have the new game stream if any of y'all are interested in what games I'm going to be playing for the next couple weeks. I have the new games in line to play, which I'm very excited for. And then I have to kind of work in the lectures and stuff on when I'm going to do those. But it looks like Tuesdays I'm going to start playing the Nancy Drew I think it's Tomb of the Lost Queen is what it's called. I should probably look it up before I advertise it. But I'm gonna do Nancy Drew on Tuesdays, and popular request, we're going back to Assassin's Creed on Thursdays. Ashley, thank you so much for the 100 bits. Oh my god. Ashley, did you time that like literally to the last second for a hype train? I cannot believe you did. Oh my god. I also just got Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That is the next one that we are going to that I'm gonna play, but I want to try to finish Origins. I'm very behind on the what's it called, DLC. We have finished the main quest of it, but I'm very behind on the second DLC because the villains are very hard. Abby B, thank you so much for the 100 bits. You guys are too nice to me. Oh my god. The DLC is beautiful, but dang, are they mean to me? Haley Oliver! Thank you so much, Haley, for the 28 bits. How are you doing? How was your holidays? How are your holidays and your New Year's? Oh my goodness. I can't believe y'all are here hyping up a lecture. Oh, we have hype emotes, don't we? Don't we have hype emotes? I think we do have hype emotes. We should plan something. Oh no, we have raid emotes. I don't have hype emotes yet. Mark, thank you so much. How do I join the hype train? I mean, just being here is lovely it's just lovely for everyone to be here. Thank you, Mark, for the 21 bits. Y'all are the best to me. Y'all are so good. Thank you for another 10 bits. Oh my goodness. Long time no see. Yeah, how is everyone doing? Okay, I'm gonna keep translating while we finish this hype train. We do need hype emotes. I need to contact our emote artist to get some more stuff going on. New Year was good, lots of love. Oh, that's so lovely. New Year's was chill for me. Can we do a debate sometime? It depends on what we're debating. I don't know. Actually, I don't really like debates. It depends on what we're dating. It depends on what we're dating. Depends on what we're debating. I guess, like, I don't know. I don't really like debates, and I feel like something about history. Was Cleopatra bad or good? She was a person. People are bad and good. I don't know. truthfully, I don't like debates this much, and I don't feel like history is one of those things. History is one of those things that I don't like to debate on because I don't like giving without sources. Like, I don't like the debate concept in that we're just like sitting there arguing back and forth. Like, unless I'm giving like actual sources that I can then read up and follow up on. Oh my goodness. Executive Store, thank you for the 100 bits. Ashley, thank you so much for gifting a tier 1 sub to Haley Oliver. Oh my goodness. We just completed level 1. Y'all are so lovely. Oh my goodness. And that's a very good point, Silver said, that you definitely cannot judge a person by their propaganda, and you cannot judge a person, especially when you can't tell if it's propaganda or if it's the truth. Someone would be trying to take my hype train conductor badge today. Debating about Nefer Watson. Oh, that's the Amarna period. Yeah, I feel like that's... But it's hard, because, like, why... Like, I don't know how we could... I don't know. Thank you for the 100 bits. Oh, you guys are too nice to me. I'm gonna cry. What is my hair doing also? I've been staring at that for literally, like, the past 10 minutes. Look at those little doggies. The farther away you get in time, the more you can assume it's propaganda, since the truth is often overwritten by the victors. Yes, for sure. 100%. I don't know. Thank you for the 197 bits. A very specific number. Oh my god. Mammy, you're just throwing out names to me that, like, I don't know what they are. Like, half the time I recognize the names, but, like, I cannot pull out of my jumble of a mind what any of these people, who any of these people are specifically. I remember what the other one and I got, because it's definitely the Amarna period and stuff. Better debate question: pineapple pizza topping or no? Oh man, that's your argument as to who that person is? I had no idea. Thank you for the other 100 bits. Oh, you guys, you're just so kind. Oh, her full name. Oh my god, that's such a long name. I'm gonna go with the pizza toppings. Truly, I love pineapple, but pineapple is very acidic and it does not do good things to my stomach. So truly, I would just say no, just because I don't think I can eat it. I think it probably tastes fine. Oh, that's her prenom and her epithet. Yeah, that is a long ass name. Pineapple does not belong. No, you know what? No, guys, you know what we need to bring back? We need to bring back the pancakes or waffles. That was always the debate we talked about. Pancakes or waffles, everyone. We need to vote pancakes or waffles. Caveat though, my family is from Hawaii. But pineapple ham, a Hawaiian pizza was invented in Canada, not in Hawaii. Anybody didn't know that? That is a fun fact for y'all. Our hot dog sandwiches. I think yes. I think they are. And I don't really know why, but I feel like they are. For some who's reigned for only about a year, she had a ton of names. Always true. We like to erase that from our history. Canadians want to erase that they made the Hawaiian pizza. Hot dogs are tacos. Okay, I would agree on that one. A pineapple is bromelated, which means it is eating you as it eat it. Ew, Shay. I didn't need to know that. I didn't know that. Yeah, I am Canadian. So is Mammy. That makes me sad. That makes me not feel bad. Taco is made out of corn though. Sorry, came in through the auto mod. Look up bromelates. I do not want to. I was gonna say flour tortillas. I have a taco, but will I also say that's usually a burrito? I usually don't eat it as a taco, but like. Does anybody know the song by the Try Guys, The White People Taco Night? Or it's not by the Try Guys, it's by Keith's group. White People Taco Night. Even better, pineapple belongs on pizza, so I can use an excuse to have more pizza. Automod is high as fuck for citing one long piece of meat. I need to turn it down, maybe. Oh goodness gracious. Ugh. The one thing I don't like about these cups is they still drip like an insane amount of water. Condensed water. So, pineapples. I was about to say pineapples or pancakes. Waffles or pancakes. Waffles or pancakes while I look up this next word. Yay! Everyone gets a level train hype mode. Or hypey mode. I can't talk right now. Thank you all so much. Choo choo. Look at that cute little. Choo choo. Look at the little sleepy cat. Oh, so cute. So cute. So, sen is a pronoun, or a, I don't even know what that is called. There. So we have another one here, and another one here, and any other ones? No, I think we're good. Oh, here's the other to see. I knew there was a third one. And then I always get mixed up with in and with. R is 2, N is 2 and 4. So this is in or with. This is 2 or 4. This actually might be a different sentence. I'm gonna check that in a second. But yes, anyone who has just joined us, this is our casual lecture where we're slowly going through and translating the Shipwrecked Sailor. So this is our second line of the Shipwrecked Sailor, or not second line, but like mostly second line. This is what we did last time. Conal, I do identify she, her, so I am a female. Executive Storm, I don't know, stealing my hype train conductor badge. Oh no, they did. I don't know has the conductor badge. So does Executive Storm. Mark's upset. Like every lecture, the students like to derail the teacher talk about aliens. I mean, I don't mind it as long as we understand that, like, we want to do this, we want to do it respectfully, I guess. Like, we just don't, like, what? It doesn't show for you? Oh, well, I can see it, Executive Storm. Sometimes I think if you click your name, can't you, like, show? Damn, there it is. Yeah, I mean, I always don't mind having okay, respectful discussions about this as long as we understand that, like, we are not going to disrespect the ancient Egyptian people who lived and died and sacrificed their life so that we can learn, not sacrifice their life, but like lived and died so that we can learn more about them and we can learn from them, as long as we understand. Oh, mammy, dressed like a pharaoh. Let's put on my, let's see if this gets caught in my, this little Velcro thing is kind of a bitch there. Sorry, I am Canadian. Ugh. How did I not know that, Executive Storm, that you were from Canada? How do you know people are Canadian? You just listen to them pronounce or spell Canada. C-E-N-E-D-E. It's a very stupid joke, and I apologize to the Canadians in the group. Oh yeah, 100%, 100% B. And that's like, it's also, that is a bad joke. Melissa is over partying. Oh no. It is a very bad joke. I just thought it was funny. I just thought it was interesting that that's how you spell Canada, and now, like, Canadians say eh, and I really want to know, like, linguistically where that comes from, because I thought it was just odd that that's how, that joke, like, it's not that the joke makes sense, but it's just like, that's how you spell Canada, and Canadians, some Canadians they say eh, and I'm like, where does that come from? I don't know. Where does that come from? Somebody explain it to me. I would love to know. But yes, it's also hard, especially that a lot of the alien theories don't get towards the alien theories of like building stuff goes to like POC civilizations, like not Western white civilizations. So then I'm just like, F that. Oh my god, B, you literally said it right when I was thinking it. Yes, exactly. POC, nobody could ever done this. This would have been really hard, so aliens obviously did it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly what I was thinking. Canada comes from the Algonquin word kanata, which means village. Word kanata, which means village. Thank you so much, Mamie. I learn something new every day. I hate when they do that, yeah. I hate it when they do that too. That's very cool. Kanata, which means village. Just because you can't do it, me. Exactly. It's all those horribly racist old theories that like the ancient Egyptians were not actually ethnically African. They actually came from a group of people that came down from Greece, and the Egyptians became that. So it's like so freaking annoying. History Channel is shit now. I mean, yeah, that's true. Okay. So we're leaving that there. So let's look up. I know, but that was a very early theory. That was like 1800s. Excuse me, I burped. But yeah, I can't remember when that theory, but that was a theory that was believed in probably the early 1800s. And then there's of course like a lot of beginnings of Near Eastern, African, and ancient Egyptian are all biblical archaeology. So like no matter what, even though they might be putting out accurate theories, they are still continually putting out theories that are purely based on textual resources from like the Bible, which is not the truth. It's not the truth, but it's not something that we can support by other means in some cases. I'm in a lot of history Facebook groups and there's still idiots who spread it. Oh yeah, I'm sure of that. All right, I think that is mech, which, oh no, that is not the word that I thought it is. So let's look up that word. Oh please, Prince of Egypt was a very accurate documentary film. Even the magic snakes. And the, don't forget the, Sphinx being exactly next to the palace and being even taller, and then the pyramids being on either side of the Nile River. And yeah. And I will say, the Prince of Egypt will always hold a very, very close place in my heart because it is one of the turning points of my childhood in that I wanted to learn more about Egypt and stuff. But I remember, and this just proves that like I didn't have a lot of faith, and I didn't have a lot of like religious faith in like believing the Bible was exactly how it was written, because as a child I didn't understand how you could cross the Red Sea. I was like, the Red Sea is just so big, like how did you cross it? And so I convinced myself as a little kid that if you look at the Red Sea, like there are two like thinner parts of the Red Sea at the very, very top and at the very, very bottom. And I like convinced myself that like that must be where they actually crossed over, because the other part is too thick for them. Even if God was able to like part the Red Sea, like they must have done it in like the really thin part where it wasn't that deep. And I just remember like distinctly thinking that like as a kid, like like having to put some sort of logic to it because it didn't make any sense. Oh yeah, modern English, 100% realistic. Also use what happened to the Jewish people as an excuse to hate on Egyptian people. Yeah, true. I think Mark, Mamie's speaking in different, she's like entering in between her sentences. So she meant to say that when they use ancient Egypt as an excuse to hate on, when Jewish people use it as an excuse to hate on Egyptian people, which, yeah, I mean, that's not how it goes. Oh, look, here's the word for cat. You. Oh, no, you're talking about the term ancient Egypt? The term ancient Egypt, it needs to be used. Okay. That's what Star is saying. No, ancient Egypt needs to be used because otherwise you're going to get it mixed up with modern Egypt, and they're so different. You cannot use them together. I have a little bit of a problem. I don't have a problem with the use with calling it Kemet. I have a problem with how people use Kemet now. That's the problem I have. People who call Kemet are people who are Kemeticists. Not the best. They have a very strict agenda on how they see ancient Egypt that I don't agree with. And sometimes it's not historically accurate. Yes, very true. Kemet was specifically talking about the Nile Valley rather than all of Egypt. But it is the most common term we have for, like, some Kemeticists are fine, some are not. Some spread some serious lies. No, it's not even those people. There are. I've followed some people on Instagram that I've had to unfollow because of their posts being just very confrontational, no matter what it is. Not willing to talk and discuss. It's very confrontational. I will recommend those look up what Kemetic yoga is, because that is absolutely hysterical and very strange. Yes, very true. And I'm not exactly talking about Kemeticism religion-wise. I do know that there are obviously people who worship Kemeticism as like a religion. I didn't really mean it as the religion one. I meant it as people who... It's mostly people who see ancient Egypt as who are talking more about racial issues. That's kind of what I meant more than the religion. The religion, I'm sure, is absolutely fine. I know very little about it. I'm more kind of talking about people who are talking about racial issues when it comes to ancient Egypt, and that they are centering around their entire belief system about racial issues that are typically more modern racial issues that don't... It's not that they don't have any validity, but, like, it's the same thing when I talked about LGBTQ people in ancient Egypt. Like, there very well could have been, but we don't really know what their belief systems were, so we don't know really how they identified and how they believe, and so we cannot take our modern terminologies and talk about them in that way. You can't take... I believe that's called ethnocentrism. Ethnocentrism is taking your own beliefs and putting that on an ancient person, or even not an ancient person, but like another person. So it's the entire concept of early anthropologists going over to these tribes or going over to these islands of remote people and saying, oh my God, they don't wear shirts. Like, women don't wear shirts here. That's so weird. That's ethnocentrism, because that is taking your personal belief that women should be covered and putting it on them, when that group are probably admired. They're displaying their breasts or something that might be very much admired. So I cannot say, even in the so that's in like the negative sense of using ethnocentrism, is judging somebody on that. But even just assuming that, like, when you look at the tomb of Neot-Khnum and Khnum-Hotep and saying, oh, their noses are touching, they must be kissing, that must mean they're gay. You can't take that, even though that is a positive thing and you're trying to identify something that is happening in the past. You can't take something that obviously has existed for a while, but the concept and the identity and coming out and identifying that, we don't know if they had that. So you can't say for certain. I definitely know something was up. something was definitely going on, but like, how can we say it's exactly how it is in our time when it's 5,000 years ago? Wasn't there a tribe, but they didn't really wear shirts, and the Christian missionaries gave them shirts for modesty and all? Yeah, exactly. That I've never heard of that, but that makes 100% perfect sense for me. Where they're like, yeah, we don't wear shirts, so it's easier to breastfeed. Like, come on. A lot of the early anthropologists were ethnocentric. We have to realize that all the biases in research and need to address it. Margaret Mead had a lot of issues with this, especially in her work in the coming of age of Samoa. Yeah, Margaret Mead was coming out of kind of a pretty darker time in early anthropology. And yeah, and that's entirely possible. And we know that Greeks and Romans obviously had a little bit of leeway in there, but we don't know, because the other part is like, the other part is that while we do know that there was cultural mixing and stuff, there wasn't as much until the later periods of ancient Egyptian history, which were pre-Greek periods. Like, I think even Khnum and Khnumhotep were early Greek stuff. So it's just like hard to say. And I just don't like people saying definitely. Like, I don't like people putting the like, this 100% definitely happened. I believe I don't know, Executive Storm. I'm pretty sure condoms were invented around that time, but I'm not sure if it was to stop STD. Like, I don't know what their belief of that was. Like, what that was used to stop. If that was used to stop STDs or used to stop pregnancy, or I don't know. It's just very dependent on the time, and the Egyptian history is also 4,000 years old, or 4,000 years, 5,000 years long. So throughout, I mean, come on, we're only here in 2020. It only took us about half, like, be generous. It only took us 1,000 years to like become almost comfortable with sexuality and stuff like that. Like, you don't know. We don't know if like, it's just hard to correlate all these things when we do miss so much information. We think we know so much about ancient Egypt, but we don't. We probably have only about 75%. And that's a hot like estimation, because certain areas we have extremely less. That's like a very big 75% over the entire course of ancient Egypt. If you looked at specific periods, certain periods would be different percentages, of course. I'm just saying over the entire course, we know a good amount. But I don't know, Mamie. I think 75% is generous, 50%. I think we know a good amount, but it's and that's more just about, I would say that's about culture and lifestyle. That's not about specific artifacts at all, because there's no point of knowing every specific artifact that we've lost. That's not the same. I don't even remember what word we're looking at. Okay, I will be focusing on this because I would like to get this fully translated. Oh no, of course we'll never know everything. I don't think that number is going up anytime soon. That's another thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there are things that are so obvious. They're like, why would I write down how we go to the bathroom? We don't need to tell you. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, I thought there was something about it in Greece, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't know the history of condoms. Funny that, I don't know. What word was I looking at? Oh, I was looking at ma'ek, which looks like, oh, here it is. Is this the word? So, sometimes the little man with a stick, we don't write the full man, we just write a hand. And that actually might have originally been a hand with a stick. I'm not sure if I wrote that correctly. No, it's just a hand. But yeah, so this means, but how do I write it? Does Does it have an I in? It does. Maka. Maka means brave. And then I definitely gotta look up this this symbol at the end. Oops, BRB showering. All right, Star, that's fine. We'll get to translating soon. Yeah, like certain things, and that's why it sucks with anxiety, because I feel like anything I dig up, like, it could be really obvious what it is, and then we could just be totally wrong. Sewing and tailoring books from the 1800s and fully write things down, let alone stuff from thousands of years ago. I mean, I love that thing, that it's something that went along like around Facebook and something. It's this weird, it looks like a 20-sided die almost, but it has little like balls on each of the corners, and like I think it were found in Greece or Rome. I don't remember the specifics on it, but like nobody could figure it out, and then they showed it to a person who knits, and they were like, oh yeah, this is like a little tool that is used for like knitting, and like so quickly somebody was able to figure out what it was, because it was just like they probably thought it was some sort of mathematical tool or something like totally weird and confusing, but like to certain circles some things have carried over for thousands of years. What is this symbol? I don't think it's a heart. Is it a heart? I might be stupid. It is a heart. I'm stupid. One of the funniest things when I was in, this is a heart. Doop. Ib, which means they're drawn weird hieroglyphs wise, but I know what they look like otherwise. This might be. Oh yeah, for sure. Certain things, like, it's so strange how just like certain things get lost to time kind of quicker than other things. Oh, this is not correct. Let's go find this word. But let me change back to brush before I forget. Ah! Come back. Ah! Nope, wrong thing. Again. Oh, actually, we're already in the right area. What finish in the usual way means. Oh my god, that's amazing. That's so funny. Finish in the usual way. Yeah, you wouldn't know what that is because they just wrote it and everybody knows what that's supposed to mean. So this word, here it is. So this word, we do have a gap here. So we don't know necessarily if there was a, we don't know if there was a determinative that had a lion, but we can see that most of these words are spelled, they're all spelled in various different ways. But yeah, this is the word for, sorry, it's this word, ma'i, for lion. Because we have this version that has the eye and the olive bird and the quail chick, and this symbol is supposed to be like a pelt. I think it's supposed to be the tail of a pelt and like his little pelt. So this is, it's not plural though, is it? I think it is plural. But it's just one of these. So this is lions. And because it's plural, let me put that there. Even the insect garments can mean so many things because people wore clothes until they couldn't anymore. Did someone not wear it because it was out of fashion? Did someone outgrow it? Was it uncomfortable? I'm glad a fellow fashion history nerd agrees with me. I'm very casually obsessed. I should show you guys I got a cool fashion like book. Let me see if I can find it on my shelf. I got this cool book at the thrift store. Ooh. 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 It's called The Anatomy of Costume. I think it's from the 70s. Yeah, 1977. But it goes through all of the eras and has some pretty cool little drawings of the different costumes and all the different pieces, which is really cool. So like it shows you all the different pieces that would be in a lady's outfit depending on what time period it is. It's a pretty cool book. It'll hopefully help the next time I make my Renaissance Day outfit. Oh, of course it's, I mean, is there any history that's not westernized? Like everything needs to change, but you are correct. Fashion history is very westernized. Okay, so that's lions. And then this is actually not to speak. See, this is why it's hard, because I just get ahead of myself and I'm like, oh yeah, this is the word for speak. But then it doesn't make any sense because there's just a sail at the end. So I have to go figure out what that word with a sail at the end could mean. One of the things that I loved is I loved Western Civ in school, and my high school did at one point offer an Eastern Civ, but I think they canceled it and they got rid of it, which was such a bummer because I really wanted to take it to kind of like, literally to like even out my knowledge of Western and Eastern Civ. Double D. Oh, where is it? Oh, I'm stupid. That's why it was wrong, because it actually isn't that. It's Jeddah. Well, I'm stupid. I've been going too fast through this. It's Ja, a storm or a storm wind. I need to paint black. Ja, storm. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we're going to go look at pair, because I know pair means house, but with the legs, it usually is peri, which I think usually means like to come or to go. Where's pair? Sorry if I'm giving y'all vertigo by just going through this really quickly. So what is it? Is it pair? Okay, I think it's just the normal verb. I think it's just this verb, to go or to come out. So, one of the things that's very, it's very indicative of the beginning of a sentence is this, this thing right here, EU. It doesn't actually mean anything. It just indicates that a new sentence is beginning. So I can very distinctly say that a new sentence is beginning here, which is good to know. This N is also meaning hour, and then M means in or with. Tep means, tep is one of those little words. And tepa actually means something together, but I can't remember what it is. So let's look at what that says. T is at the very end. T. No, it's second T. I need first T. Tep ter, tep resi, tep su, tep nefer, tep tep-a, before. Okay, perfect. So this is actually together, and this means before. And now I gotta look up this sign, because this is a confusing one that I don't recognize. I have a feeling it's a plant? No, it doesn't look like a plant. What could it possibly be then? Whenever I see weird signs, I always look in the temple furniture and sacred emblems, the crown, dresses, or staves section, because they typically have some odd looking items. But I don't think it's in there either. It could also be an animal part. I don't think that's what that is. Oh, there it is. It is in parts of the human body. All right, y'all, let's all guess what part of the human body that sign means, because I have no idea what it could mean. No way. Y'all, this is a toe. This symbol here is supposed to be a toe. And I think it spells soch. But it's not the word for toe. It's something different, but it's S Aleph. So luckily Aleph is at the beginning. There's a lot of words that start with SN. SN, almost there. Oh my god, so many S words. So Sa could mean a grant of land. So yeah, Sa could mean toe. Sa could also mean to kick. Oh, see. So it says here that if you say Sa Ta, which is what this here says, so Sa and Ta, it could mean to land from a ship. So Sa and Ta is to land or reach. Oh, that's the wrong one. So this means to reach or to land. Oh, and this is actually not and, this is our. Turn the page. You're not helping alien theory with that. Theorists are gonna twist your words. What words? Love you though. What was I talking about when I said that? I missed it. Oh, landing a ship. Yeah. It is a technically word. It is technically a word like that we use in modern day. It is technically you land a ship, technically. But yeah, they mean boat. I know they mean boat. But a ship, I don't know, is there technically a difference between ship and boat? I feel like there is. I feel like that there's something to do with, you call a ship and a boat something because of size. Is a ship bigger than a boat? Not 100% sure on that one, but I feel like there is a difference. I feel like boat people would know if there's a difference. Only boat people. Okay, so this word, fa'i, so I might have a T at the end. So it could mean financial interest, but it also has this determinative that's here on this the third line, which fulfills fa'i. So it's not, even though it has a t at the end, that probably is a verbal ending. So it means to raise or lift up. To raise, to lift up. And then we have the sail again, which probably is a word. Buildings, parts of buildings, trees, and plants. Where does a sail come in? Buildings or parts of buildings? No. Domestic inner furniture. Warfare, Hungarian butchery. Crafts and professions. Is that where would a sail be in this book? I actually have no idea. Oh, ships and parts of ships. Duh. It's a small section though, it's only a couple. So a sail spells out cha. Cha'u. So this word is actually luckily in here. So it actually is the word for wind. Sometimes I don't have to go to the dictionary because my sign list will give me hints of the word. So cha'u is the word for wind. And then, oh, I should have known. The I actually is a verb, eerie. It's very hard to see when it's eerie because it's just an I, and the I obviously can be used in a lot of different words. So that's a verb that means to do or make, and then the F is him. And then this is a calf's foot, a cow's foot, which would be in the parts of mammals section. Leg and hoof of ox. Could be lechem. So gotta add the W and the H. an indication that the stative is being used. So let's look up this last word and then let's get translating. I think we are looking for Mets. Oh wait, that would have been at the end though. Where's the end of M? Before MD, before M second T, we're looking for, oh yeah, I love this little guy. I always thought that he was lying down sleeping. I always thought this was a pillow. It's actually supposed to be a pool of blood underneath his head because it's the word for dead man. And also the word for die is met or moot. Oh yeah, here, yeah, that's actually the word we're looking for. So when we write it like this, you can see where it just has a stick. They are indicating that this is from the Shipwrecked Sailor. So it's not just like, it's not a person dying, it's a ship dying. What happens when a ship dies? It is perished. So technically this means to die or perish. Okay, let's get started translating. So I will say that this is actually a continuation of the last one. That line was not even finished. So we're looking at the second line here, and it was, having come down to the great green in a boat of 120 cubits in its length, 40 cubits in its width. And then we have something talking about sailors. So because it just comes with no, because there is no, like, connecting word, let's do it in blue. Because there's no connecting word, we'll just put a little blank here to figure out how we're going to connect the last sentence from here. But pretty much this says, 120 sailors, literally they're in it, talking about the boat. And then oh yeah, another way we could say it is 120 sailors on board. So these are like phrases, obviously, that are more modern, that are like, ancient Egyptians wouldn't have an equivalent for what on board means, but we understand on board meaning people were on board a ship. So they were on board. And then M can also mean one of the more not totally used all the time. It also can mean consisting of. So in this case, this means 120 sailors on board consisting of the choicest, which I will fix it in a second, of Egypt. Can't spell Egypt. So another word for N is of. It can also be used as a genitive, to be of. So, and another way to say the choicest is consisting of the best. So how would we connect this to the last sentence? In a boat of 120 cubits in its length and 40 cubits in its width. And essentially we would say with 120 sailors on board, consisting of the best of Egypt. So it's just describing the people that are on the boat. And then we don't know yet if there is a connection between the next sentence, but we are going to assume that there might be a word that we can put in here, but after we determine the verb tense, we will determine if we can connect those sentences or if they'll be separate sentences. So with the subject would be they, actually, instead of their. So the subject would have been they saw, because this is subjunctive. And if it is subjunctive, that means that it's probably future tense, which means then it would actually be if, and this would be the end of the sentence. So if they saw, this can also be sky. I was trying to remember what the other word for it is, since sky is a better word usually. So if they saw the sky, and then we hit another verb, to see. So then we'd have to figure out what the connecting word is here, and this would be they. This is another subjunctive, I think. They saw if they saw the land. So because we have two subjunctives back and forth, the only connecting word that we could do is an and or an or. So it's if they saw the sky, and or makes just more sense in this. If they saw the sky or they saw the land, comma, usually. Then we have the word for brave as an adjective. Then we have the noun heart, their heart, because the possessive comes after heart, so it's their heart. 2 lions, the verb lions. So what could that possibly be? So this is probably, because we don't have a verb in here, this is probably an adverbial sentence, which means, again, there might be a connecting word. We'll have to find out. But it means that adverbs come... Is it adverb? Yeah. Adverbs come before the thing that they are describing. So the thing they're describing is their hearts. So it would have been... So their hearts are the subject, so it would have been... Their hearts... Or maybe heart. It might be heart. And not their hearts. It might be their hearts. So it's probably, because this is the problem with ancient Egyptian verbiage, is that there's no past, present, or future. Lots of different things, it depends on context. So because we know subjunctive usually means the future, or like wishing, like it could be wishing. So it's if they saw the sky, or they saw the land, their hearts, and then the way it just kind of naturally goes. Sometimes it looks like it's completely normal language. Then it goes heart, there, to lions, storm, to come out with. Yeah, exactly. It does get confusing. So I think what it's supposed to be is their hearts were brave let me look up a different one of those little tiny words have so many different words that it can possibly use. So it's got to, at, concerning, more than. Oh, okay, that works better. From, so that, until, according as. So we could do their hearts were brave, and then this is where it's gonna sound weird, but we can rearrange it after we get it. More than lions. That makes more sense, but we'll have to like rearrange it at, as such. So the better way to do it is their hearts, the better way to sound, that just makes it sound better in English, is their hearts were more brave than lions. So yeah, and so then we have this ellipses, so we don't know exactly what's there. It could just be a sign, it could just be a determinative, it could be a whole phrase. Like, we don't know based off of the looking at this writing. But I can presume that that's probably the end of the sentence, because then we suddenly have a noun and then a verb. So typically when we have a noun and a verb, that can start a new sentence. But again, we just got to put the gap there. So here, I don't think there is a gap, because it would just make more sense. If they saw the sky or they saw the land, their hearts were more brave than lions. It doesn't make total sense, but it makes better sense for not to include any sort of connecting word there. So yeah, there could be a connecting word down here, but then we have this. And remember I said that this is a new sentence. So this has to be, we know that a new sentence starts here, and that is purely because of the EU. We know a new sentence starts here. So we have to make a sentence out of just these two words. So pretty much it's kind of easy. It means a storm. There's probably a different word that fits better, so let's look up pair again. I think I have an idea of what it could be. But let's look, because again, there are several. So you see how many words there are for pair? So go or come out, and then you could go into a ship. You could go from, burst forth, go up, ascend, be subtracted. So what is the verb we have? The word we have is jaw. So let's see if maybe they mention which one, the one we're looking for. Doesn't look like it. But we just gotta think of things. So we're talking about a thing and not a person. So a person goes and comes out. A thing would come out or burst forth. Oh, burst forth of a storm. So we could use burst forth instead. So it literally will say a storm burst forth. So then how do we connect these two sentences? Do we connect them? Do we just make them different? The other way that we can connect them is we put in but. If they saw the sky or if they saw the land, then their hearts would be more brave than lions. Meaning, literally, these sailors, if they see sky and land, they are going to be happy and they're going to be brave. But a storm burst forth. So that is counteracting that they would be brave if they saw sky or land. Instead, they saw a storm, so they would be scared. So that's how we kind of can use context to try and figure out what the connecting word would be. Because you wouldn't be able to use and. You can't just say, if they saw sky or they saw land, their hearts were more brave than lions, and a storm burst forth. That doesn't make sense. Or a storm burst forth. That doesn't make sense. So but is a good word to kind of connect what the two concepts of what we're talking about in this sentence. So again, we know that this is the end of that sentence. And EU we don't translate. We just know that it's here. There is the chance that this could be a there is a chance that it could be connected to this sentence, but we'll see what happens. So this can also be we. It's either we or our. Because remember, we are talking, the main narrator is talking about himself as a person on this boat with all the sailors. So this is what we call an M of predication. It's literally just connecting one subject to, or one noun to another noun. So it is literally just saying, we were in the Great Green. I'm trying to save room. So this word actually can be connected, and we would say while. While, it's my only thing that I picked up when I was in Nashville, or in Tennessee. While, I don't pronounce any of the letters. While we were in the Great Green. And then this is before. This again means we, before. The subject is here. Before we. And then we would just assume this is could reach the land. The land. Could reach the land. And that is also subjunctive. Is it actually our land? It might be our land. Oh no, lies. The F, this is a word. Whoop. With actually the other end as well. Hello, Careless Mom. Yes, we're working hard. It's very hard to do. This is literally how long we're going on? 2.5 hours? Probably 2 hours just doing this one sentence. And this is what I had to do. I was doing this probably for 5+ hours every night. But we did take classes every 2 days. It was like 2 times a week. So I was probably doing this maybe at the height 5 to 10 hours, depending on what we were doing. There have been a lot of distractions, yes, but I'm telling you, this took a lot of time. It was the majority of all of my homework. It was insane about how long these took me at the very, very beginning. And this, when did I learn this? Based off of my notebook from when I actually learned this, this was the end of my first semester when I learned this. My professor, he tested something on us. He tested a new textbook on us. It's called Hawk. The last name of the author is named Hawk, H-O-C-H. I found it to be very easy and much better than Allen. Allen is the very common textbook that is used to teach Middle Egyptian. But my professor, he hated Allen 3rd edition. He found Allen 3rd edition to be like preposterous and crazy. But Allen 2nd edition is the one that he liked. And so he experimented with our class and taught us using the Hawk book. And I liked Hawk. I thought it was very simple. I thought the way that he did it was much easier to understand than in some other things. And I think the way that he progressed through the chapters, Allen progresses very oddly, where he jumps in between like some really tough subjects. I think Hawk very much starts you out really easy and then keeps on going. I would always recommend Hawk. But there are problems with Hawk, obviously, that our professor was teaching us. But Hawk, the way that he did it is that there were like 20 or so sentences that you would have to translate every chapter, and then he would give you a specific glossary with the words that would most likely be used there. And they weren't the best definitions, but we had a dictionary to back up and look up other definitions. But by the end of the first semester, we were about halfway through that textbook. All of the questions were just lines going through chronologically through the Shipwrecked Sailor. So this was the first half of, this was the very end of my first semester of doing hieroglyphs, and we were translating this. And there's actually quite not a lot of erase marks on here, so I'm quite surprised that seems like I got a lot of this correct. All right, so then we have the verb fat, literally fat, which means to raise or to lift up, and then the subject would be the wind. So I'm gonna write it down here, if I can find where my mouse is. So there's probably a connecting word here, and then it's the wind. Probably it's rose up. And then we have another verb and another, yeah, verb and subject, because we have Erie F, and F would be the subject. So possibly another connecting word here. So it could be him or it could be it. So it's probably it, because we're probably still talking about the wind. So while the wind, made a continuous howling. And then we have the word wave, but no noun. So I think that's another adverbial, which means another connecting word. So it would be like a wave kind of was there. What does that mean, of there? Oh, that means that's, wait, no. While, while, there, because this can also mean it. Well, maybe it's, instead of a wave was there, maybe it was there was a wave of 8 cubits. And I think there might be a word in the middle, but I think with stative, it's also indicates a new sentence starts. So this would literally be, oh, you know what this is? This means then. When it's used, it definitely means the stative, but it definitely always goes, and then it says, so there is no connecting word. There's a period there. And then literally the sentence is then, wow, why is that N so far away? Then the boat died. So going back, just reading it throughout, so before we could reach land, so this is where it's hard, is like, most likely we would say while, and then we would have to see while the wind it'd be like being lifted, almost being lifted, and then again while. It's like, it's hard to say. These sentences are all run-on sentences, but it is. So while it made a continuous howling, and then this could be like with, I don't know. This one's a little vague. I'm not sure about this one. This one could literally just be while While it made a continuous howling, comma, there was a wave of 8 cubits. Then the boat died. So here's the whole sentence we have. I think we've gotten everything, because yeah, this is subjunctive, so we don't need one there. So with 120 sailors on board there in it, consisting of, no, sorry. Well, with 120 sailors on board, consisting of the best of Egypt. If they saw the sky, or if they saw land, their hearts were more brave than lions. But a storm burst forth, while we were in the great green, before we could reach land. So it might be like period, and then you say while. Because it is just, they are run-on sentences, and that's just how ancient Egyptian sentences worked. While the wind rose up, or while the wind was being lifted, maybe like was being lifted. While the wind was being lifted, it made a continuous howling. While it made a continuous howling, like it made a continuous howling also works. There was a wave of 8 cubits, and then obviously this means 8 cubits tall. Tall. Now it looks like not what I want. And then, very dramatically, then the boat died. Or perished. Obviously is a more specific word for perished. For boats. But there we have it, y'all. Oh my god, my foot is absolutely freaking asleep. What do y'all think? Any questions? We're probably gonna have to wrap up pretty soon because I don't think I have a notification that I'm going into work late tomorrow because of the snow. Thank you, Jonathan's Gamescast, for the heart. I hope you enjoyed our little lecture. I'm gonna save this so we can look at it later. That was awesome. I'm so glad, Jonathan. Welcome, welcome. If you don't know, my name is Melissa. I am in denial in more ways than one. I am an Egyptologist and archaeologist. And so this is some of the stuff we do with lectures. Every so often, I've just decided to just translate some hieroglyphs for you and let y'all ask any questions about any of the sentences. So we are translating a story called The Shipwrecked Sailor. It's literally about a sailor that gets shipwrecked. We're only on the second I'm not going to say second line because there are multiple lines and they're all run on, but this is the second part we've done of this. So we're only like a very tiny bit into the story. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed that a lot. Always feel free to ask me questions. Go to the Discord, ask me questions there. Feel free to follow me on any socials. Yay, perfect time for me to start watching. Yes, you definitely missed the struggle of us just translating the words and looking through the dictionary and stuff. It takes, I mean, we've been doing this for 2:45, but like 2 hours, almost 3 hours now, but we're having some lovely discussions as well in the chat.